Welcome to the Money Savvy Parents podcast, the podcast for parents to gain financial education to then pass on through the generations. I am your host, Laura, mother to 3 beautiful children and founder of a financial coaching business, Savvy Peacocks. Let's remove the taboo from money together. Hello and welcome back to my podcast. Great to have you with me today. I am going to talk about something that's particularly close to my heart. So let's hear that question from the audience.
Hi Laura, I would like to ask you, what does being savvy mean to you?
Thank you so much for asking this. And obviously it's one that I get asked all the time. My business is called Savvy Peacocks. And of course, this podcast is Money Savvy Parents. So that word savvy gets bandied around in my world quite a lot. So I thought it'd be great for me to share with you what I think is the true meaning of being savvy and some of the areas in which you can look at in your life to ensure that you're as savvy as possible. Now, a lot of people have the misconception that because I am a financial coach and finances is my background, that the word savvy comes with a whole load of information and connotations around money. And actually, these top 10 things are nothing to do with money directly. But I do believe that if you can do well at these things, then it will have a direct impact on your money, whether that be what you do with your money or how you earn it. So the number one tip for me is all around structure. Having clarity on where you're going and how you're going to get there means that you're really intentional about what you're doing. What's your perfect week look like? How can you make sure that those days don't just roll away and that you actually are productive with your time? And it means that you are confident in what you're doing. The other great thing with structure is you'll find it very much easier to push back and say no to the things that don't work towards your overall vision. So if you do have a clear, defined structure and a vision and mission of where you're going and what you want to achieve, then having that structure means that you will say no to the things that don't directly align to that, and therefore you're much more efficient. The second thing is outsourcing, and you'll hear me talking about this a lot within Clubhouse and when I'm talking to my clients, because my personal opinion is that we should be outsourcing any job that we don't enjoy doing or that someone else can do better, or that you can pay somebody else to do cheaper than the money that you can make for yourself. Now, obviously, if you're running a business, it's really easy to find ways to outsource social media, your copy, your editing. There's loads of different things you can outsource. But if you are not self-employed, then I also believe that it's possible to outsource in your personal life. So you might want to think about getting a cleaner, or maybe you've got some jobs in the garden that you don't enjoy doing and you'd like to get someone in to be able to do those for you. Or maybe you just need somebody to do a particular one-off job for you that you don't particularly like doing. For example, cleaning the oven. I hate that. So I really hate it. It's something I can't do particularly well, and actually an expert would be better at it anyway. Plus, for the sake of £40, it's worthwhile somebody else doing it and doing a better job of it than me trying to attempt it. So outsourcing for me is a big win. Number 3, have boundaries. So boundaries are really important, because if you don't have boundaries, then it means that people don't know what you will and won't tolerate, where your values line through. So take the time to agree your own boundaries, what you will and won't tolerate, and share those with others around you. But make sure you share it in a language that they understand, and then stick to it. If you turn a blind eye occasionally, or maybe you ignore things, then actually what you're doing is accepting that situation, and therefore you're loosening off your boundaries and telling that other person that, okay, well, I won't worry about saying about it this time. You're actually accepting that action that they've taken. So having really clear boundaries around what's important to you, what you will and won't tolerate, and really building in a structure of what works for you in your life. The fourth thing I think we all need to learn and think about actively is being precious of our time. So it is one of our most important commodities. And time is the one thing that I do spend quite a lot of time, my own time, talking to my clients about, because actually, if they can get more efficient with their time and be more structured, then not only will it help them in their personal life to make sure that they're enjoying the free time that they do have, but also ensuring they don't burn out, which is, I think, something as parents in particular is really important that we're careful with. Because if you don't take time out for yourself and you don't look after yourself, then that's an opportunity in which maybe you would be in a situation of burning out or overwhelm. And certainly if you're not precious of your time, you're leaving it open for others to abuse that time around you for maybe very little return. So being quite precious of your time is a really important thing. I think I've shared this fifth tip on the podcast before because it's all around goals. And one of my lovely sayings that I love to say is, a goal is a wish unless you have a plan. So basically, you can be working towards something, but if you don't have a plan for it, then the chances are you're probably not going to achieve it. So if you can make sure that you're putting in regular planning time to work out what your goal is, how close are you getting to it, what else do you need to do, what will this mean to you when you achieve this goal, and make sure you're really clear with your plan on how to get there, then that's a way to pretty much ensure a fairly quick success because you're working towards a plan and you're dedicated to it. The sixth area is something that I've had to learn very quickly recently, and that's around surrounding yourself with those people that are going to build you up. So there's a well-known saying that says that you are a direct reflection of the top 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with. So be quite particular about who you want to spend time with, what you need from those around you. And I would also use this as an opportunity to reevaluate who you are spending time with. Just because you've always hung around with them, maybe they're old school friends, doesn't mean that they're right for you right now when you need it. So think very carefully about who you're spending your time with and making sure that those people around you are people that are going to build you up and make you a much more better person. And then once you're clear on who you're spending your time with, comes the next hint and tip, which is number 7. Ask for feedback. Make it your mission to ask for feedback on a regular basis, because what someone else sees you doing or saying or acting in a certain way, they will see it very differently to how you see it. And that will ensure that what they're looking at is they're seeing your blind spots that maybe you can't see from yourself. So asking for regular feedback from those people that you value the feedback from. And then another skill that goes along with this is about being gracious around getting that feedback and actually doing something about it or just throwing it away. I'm a big believer in feedback being a gift. So you can either do something with it or you can throw it away. Either way, that's fine, as long as you've asked for the feedback in the first place on a regular basis from people that you know and you trust that are going to be open and honest with you. And, I've got to say, I'm one of those friends that will always tell you directly my personal opinion, my feedbacks and my thoughts, because I want you to be as good as you possibly can be if you're somebody that I'm going to spend time with. So make sure that that's a mutual agreement between you both. Where are we? 7th number is recognizing your own skills and your experience and your expertise. So never doubt your unique power, but then at the same time, accept that you are an expert in a certain field and other people will be an expert in other areas. And you don't need to know everything about everything, but you do need to really home in on your own expertise and your skills and then share that experience with others around you. And then at the same time, use other people's expertise to enrich your own life. So don't just think, oh, well, I've got to learn how to do that. You don't. You're an expert of the field that you're in. Go and find an expert of the field that they're in and ask for their help. Draw them into your life to lean on those expertise and that experience. Okay, the 9th point. Put yourself at the top of the tree. Now, I'm sorry to say, I know this podcast is for parents, but as women in particular, we're always very busy looking after everybody else, and we forget to take good care of ourselves. So putting ourselves at the top of the tree will automatically allow everybody else around you to be better and stronger. So I say that on behalf of women, but this can also be very true in men as well, particularly if they're the main breadwinner. Maybe they've got the that sort of pressure on their shoulders. So, what are you going to do today to look after yourself? Because if you're not looking after yourself, then you're not going to be as strong as you possibly can be for those around you. And then number 10, my favorite, have fun. What is the point in doing things and enjoying life and creating the life that we're all working towards creating if we're not going to enjoy it? And I'm sure we all know that life is too short not to be enjoying things. So make sure you're carving out time to enjoy those moments, to make sure that if your mood is a little bit low, that you know exactly how to build yourself up and get yourself back into that happiness phase and enjoying everything around you. Because really, if you're not having fun, then there really is no point. So just as a summary, my top 10 things for you to be looking at to ensure that you're being as savvy as you possibly can be: structure, outsourcing, having boundaries, being precious of your time, making sure that you've got a plan for your goal, because it is just a wish if you don't have a plan. Surround yourself with those that are going to build you up. Ask those people for feedback on a regular basis. Make sure you truly value your expertise and other people's expertise. Put yourself at the top of the tree. And then lastly, have fun. I hope that helps and gives you a different perspective into what savvy means to me. And I can promise that if you work towards those 10 top tips, that it will have a direct impact on what you're looking to achieve and your life as a whole, which ultimately is the name of the game. Thank you very much for listening. I really appreciate you being with me, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for listening to Money Savvy Parents. If you enjoyed today's episode, then please subscribe and post your money questions within a review for future episodes. If you want to learn more, then please join my Money Savvy Parents Facebook group or club on Clubhouse. Let's remove the taboo from money together.